Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who will that taught us this truth, and much love, greetings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the four elects, God thought the four corners of the earth. And brother has sent me this article the other day, and I wasn't able to do a video on it, but I decided to just go ahead and basically just do a lesson because as we could see, Esau is being brought down on every major level, and this is why he's becoming more livid and more antsy in his behavior. You can't go nowhere without the Edomite acting up, being very childish, being belligerent, showing their true spirit, their true colors. Every day they show that they hate you, but the agitation really comes from the fact that in their own society, they're being outnumbered, by you tribes, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And, that's always been a thing with us, every time we're oppressed and in captivity, we just start multiplying. And that's what happened in ancient Egypt. The more hell that Pharaoh put on us, the more we were, populating, we were multiplying. So, they forced a stricter hand to, put us further into captivity, and they ruled over us with rigor. So you're going to see, that activity, increase where, Esau is going to, be more, stricter upon Jacob. All right. Because they can't stand being outnumbered or overpopulated. So that's why they're putting these, strict immigration laws. They're still talking about this border wall, and they're using ICE to try to remove all the indigenous tribes that are coming through the borders. Which what they're doing with that is a modern form of the Indian Removal Act. If y'all go back and look up that act from I believe it was Andrew Jackson, which we call him the Indian killer. He put forth that measure. To remove, a lot of the Native Americans, and it was mainly through bloodshed. All right. And they was able to extend, the United States, further west until all the so-called natives, were basically removed into reservations. All right. So, we're seeing that same anger, arise within Esau. So this is part of the reasons why we're seeing that behavior in these devils. Now, it says less than half of U.S. children under 15 are white, which, really they're not white. They're red. All right. So basically less than half of the U.S. Population of children under the age of 15 are Edomites. It says, according to the census, our census shows. All right. And I'm going to read some of this, and I'm going to just hit a few scriptures. It says, for the first time, non-Hispanic white residents now make up less than half, 49.9% of the nation's under age 15 population. Newly released 2018 U.S. Census Bureau estimates shows. The new data highlight the increasing racial diversity of the nation's overall population, for which non-Hispanic whites now comprise only slightly more than 3/5, 60.4% of all residents. But the fact that white children, or Edomite children, I'm going to just say that, but the fact that Edomite children under 15 have already become a minority in their age group puts an exclamation point on the fact that the nation's diversity is percolating from the bottom up as the Edomite population ages. Yeah, and they're having low birth rates. A lot of their women are becoming infertile. They're waiting too late to have children, because, they're attending to their careers and, marrying at an old age to where they really can't have children. A lot of they men are becoming a bunch of sodomites, and really half their population is attracted to prepubescent boys. OK, they into underdeveloped boys. And it's showing. So in many cases that is happening, man. OK. It says this phenomenon, Salakia, we can't forget, they had they brought forth feminism, and part of the cry of feminism is the right to be able to abort their children. And a lot of these Edomite women, they all supported that idea, and they tried to tag along our women, which, a good number of our women believe in that madness, following after the serpent's woman. But all that happened was a backfire, because now if you're aborting all these children, how are you going to do that while simultaneously your race is declining demographically? You're being brought down demographically, and that's dangerous if you're still going to continue to abort your children. Okay, so that's another reason why months ago you had these different state legislations in different various states outlawing abortion. It's not because they have righteous morale, like they're about life. These devils, they're about death. Okay, they're anti-life. The Most High created them to have a destructive nature about themselves, but they understand that they're dying off, so they need to preserve their race. Okay, so this is what's happening to them, and this is growing into a crisis. Okay, and then we can't forget about the the opioid epidemic. A lot of these devils are dying from opioid overdoses. Fentanyl, crystal meth, heroin. A lot of that is happening, man, and they all becoming homeless. Can't feed their families. Are losing their families. So this is the Most High is bringing the curse upon Esau, man. Let me get Deuteronomy 30:7. And it says, "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." And we know Esau is the main one that hate us. So we're beginning to see those curses, start to, pour on to them. And now when you go into the inner cities or the urban areas, when you go to where the homeless is, you'll start to see Edomites with Jake, in these areas, man. Looking towed back, man. Done. Some of the Jakes that are homeless are living more well off than Esau, man. So, hey, the curses is coming upon them. Let me see if I can find another scripture. I want to say it's in Lamentation. And you seeing there women walking around with no shoes on, basically like you just pulled them out of the caves, man. After 100 years, that's how they looking like walking around, in the cities, man. Like out here in Vegas downtown, man. Them are the most broken down Edomites that you can see, man. Bruises and scrapes and dusty and dirty. Clothes, ripped up, hanging off they legs and torso, and just ripped up, man. And when we look at that, man, we like, damn, that's how we know we in the end. Okay, these devils, they ain't got a lot of time left, man. Lamentations 3:64, it says, "Render unto them a recompense, Lord Yahweh, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto them." Okay. And these growing crises that Esau is experiencing is a sorrow of heart to him. That's why they're depressed, and that's why they're committing suicide. Okay. So this is another, thing that's, increasing their stress levels, that they're losing their population. So that's why you're seeing a growing number of these white nationalists, on these college campus recruiting, different Edomites, and they beefing with, the liberal Edomites that's trying to be cool with everybody. They getting sick and tired of that shit. That's why they still trying to hang on to Trump, even though Trump he's bringing more destruction to this place, man. Okay. So I'm going to just read a little more of this, and then I'll hit a few more precepts and close out. It says, this phenomenon, which is projected to continue, right? Hey, because, hey, it's the Most High is making this happen, man. It's going to continue because your lifestyle is destructive. What you sown in the earth is all coming back to haunt you. Okay? You cursed yourself. Matter of fact, the devices that you've used against us, like, drugs, Planned Parenthood, things of that such, feminism, is now starting to affect you now. Okay? And you don't know how to handle it. Let me get, I think it's Proverbs. I think it might be the 7th chapter. Let me see. Real quick. I'm trying to find a particular scripture. Because the devices that he imagined against us, now you see the Most High is bringing it upon him. Real quick. So, where is it at? Bear with me while I find the scripture. There's a scripture that comes to mind. Basically, the snare that he set for me, set for us, let him be taken in it. Let me see. Devices. Okay. Yeah, the scripture escapes me right now. I was just trying to search it out. But I'm pretty sure, brothers know what scripture I'm looking for. Oh, so matter of fact, let me go to the Apocrypha. I think I know where one is at in the Apocrypha that's kind of says the same thing. Let's go to the book of Sirach. And I want to say it's around the 27th chapter. Yep, Sirach 27, and I'm going to start at verse 26. It says, whoso dig a pit shall fall therein, and he that set up a trap shall be taken therein. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh. And right now, Esau is experiencing his calamity. The Most High is putting his ass through it, and it's only going to get worse and worse, as his kingdom comes to an end. All right. Let's get Jeremiah 49. All right. So your population is declining. You're divided up. Your allies are becoming your enemies. It's just all down here for this devil, man. This is Jeremiah 49. And I'll start at verse 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? All this wisdom, you put yourself out there like you're the most intelligent, most wise man on the planet Earth. You like to insult everybody else's intelligence, saying that, we have the lowest IQs and we're not smart. We have to be civilized. But look at what's happening with your people. All right. You can't get it together. And look at the condition of the earth since you've been in rulership. Why you got to resort to, making a genetically modified food? Why you got to create a laboratory food? Why can't the earth, produce at its fullest capacity under your management? Where's your wisdom at, man? All this technology, you thinking that is making you more and more intelligent and righteous, but look what it's causing in the world, man. All the animals, are finding themselves on the endangered species list. The Most High gotta hide some of these animals in the rainforests, man, in areas where you've never been. Because if the Most High exposes every piece of land on the planet Earth to you, you'll bring devastation there. All right. So that's why the Most High is bring you devils down, man. All right. It says, verse 8, flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. All right. And the Most High is beginning those calamities. Those is he's having different crises, man. So that's why he's he's very livid. That's why he's the police is after you, Jakes, shooting you down in the streets, beating you down, killing you. These Edomites, they all they're showing themselves, man, because they feel like they're threatened. They feel like they're attacked. But everything that's coming upon them is just a reciprocation of what they've done, what they've put out. All right. And hey, you've had the longest to rule out of all the other nations, man. So now is your time to, bow out gracefully, but you ain't going to do that. You're entitled. OK, so, hey, while you still trying to hang on to your last bit of power, hey, the Most High is going to continue to bring these calamities upon you, man, until finally you're going to try to come against the Lord's servants, the prophets. You're going to bring tribulation to Israel. And then that's when the Lord's going to show up and intervene. All right. You think that you're going to fill your belly. And the moment you do that, that's when the Most High is going to, he's going to put you in straits. OK, so that's what's going down. So you devils, man, hey, live out the best of the last of your I'll say the last seconds of your kingdom, man. OK, because you getting ready to go down. All right. And let me leave off with a scripture. Let me go to the Apocrypha. Real quick. Yes, 2nd Ezra 6, verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall the end of the first and beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that's why the Most High is going to continue to multiply us. All right. We're going to continue to wake up. The Lord's going to continue to seal his elect. This word is going to continue to go forth. All right. The Most High is returning that old royal kingly mindset back to his sons, man. And that atmosphere is setting, a standard in the world. And you devils are frightened, you shooken up by it. So that's why we already know how this is going to go. You're going to come at us. And that's when the Lord's going to lift up his standard. Because it's time for Esau to go down. It's time for Jacob to be established. All right. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just want to go into that. A brother has sent this to me the other day. And I thought, why not just, do a lesson on it? So hopefully you brothers were edified, and you sincere sisters that also watch, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Till next time, Shalom.